atena sibiem highway sports we yɛbɛkɔ ne kakra kɔpem sɛ yɛde live commentary de ebebremo na ene de no we akɔyɛ special edition bi akɔyɛ sɛ yi bi no danger man
head of sports oh me hu ye
na nyoma ɛkɔ kama
ene na mu che obadi ano
1.7 FM
se me si fom afi de mafro
o si fom
kakra
o bana dimrika na
ahen se tamaso
okay
no na yabo amanfo fi ase atuni in a o mutie promise so ho nti na se ye ba na ye besom
okay
on se e osom
awia mihia atane ata
yes
mihia atane ata
say the whole ayi de omo yogurt de omo
so chia wo ne se
me kwada me ebu ha
wo omo so omo hu wo nche
me twafa ho no makwaje yogurt kakra gu mi me de me fa ho pa omo anu ma fa ho me kwa maji me yogurt
ho de de aboa bomani ntu
no comment
eti ya sha se wo beda kwa ba bibia boko de
ya ba
okay akomia sechi
yes boss
bibia boko de okay eti highway sports enie aha a promise 102.7 program no ubetimi ahwe e wo Facebook search for a promise radio so na at our passports on Facebook also betimi ahwe program no ye bedidi nkoma kakra titriu efa eye enra game a ekoso ewo eye Felix Fobonye Sports Stadium eno ewo Abidjan ne ho ena eye the Black Stars of Ghana ene Cape Verde ana Cape Verde edi esiani a Cape Verde ehye Ghana kamienu emietimu eba ku nsem bebre ena ekoso ewo game after the game so nyoma bebre ena ekoso ne kura no dodo na ekoso enche yede ani ebekira Abidjan na ye ne the sports lawyer Baba Isa akwakodi enkomo ewo ho ebedwafo atena sie yebehwe Ghana said the tournament no AC ekoye chances ahead of yen second game a ebeba so nyame yadoma yawada abre ni Egypt edi AC ni no ni nyina ne behwe se Ghana ye wo chance see betimi qualify to the next stage of the competition as betimi ahye Egypt na yakohwe kwan yebefa so de last game ni Mozambique bebo no yebetimi edi afa so ni nyina ne yebehwe Mohamed Kudus ni situation say NC etie ni nyina wiai opese wotia obete ewo promise 102.7 jumadi ni din highway sports afi clubs nso guso amo sensan players ene awiai Kumasi Asante Kotoko announce player foforo or joining Asante Kotoko ahead of the second round of the Ghana Premier League ni nyina no yebedi nkomo hazo folks guso so sign players been so far across the folk asam other clubs so no say na omo transfer no AC Eco ni nyina no ya tena se awiai ye ni nyina ebebrem say ene na transfer window ne ba na wie okay ti no mo science ano
no mo jegum pa
okay
ti ba o tena de na sunsan ye hu be de body
movement na is slow pa o
is it the corner the be din o
because obi am person obeko
time we na ko ka chi obi so onko
obi aso onko
ya semu ai so ya na ko ka chi pa o se menko
dabi we are so we da so betuam sika nyina ma me ana say ne me metina ho na me no wa hye akon akate bosum so amaji me pepe pa
ye be bie line ne kakra eso e de amamo na mo de madwen kira ba 0536161607 0536161607 and afi 0536178883 edruwa na ya na so na so afre na afi wo de wadwen kira aba fa messages nyina efa eye Facebook you search for Promise Radio and I say oil passports ho nyina no baby ado message be fa bia no ebinya daje na awia yi abomoden akan ede amamo say the message aka no ene no we special edition ti ye be kɔ ne kakra komo ye didi ne na no pɛ no eno na awia yi ye be to aso fa Black Stars yen game a eno a ye boy aye ne Cape Verde omo hye ye kam yi no emiati mu ebaako bafo wa fe fa krom.
Oh yeah.
Na ekrom te say amanfo ra ho.
Ebufuo areho ene echinigye ena ebi nso adwenkyere na ye wo mo so mo wo arehimo na say nida so kakra say achia no so emu ye enti eno na sisi ano ɛwɔ kurom enti no ɛyɛ mixed reaction mixed feeling ɛna ɛwɔ town wa obiara ka deɛ ɔyɛ Mr. Tiffy ɛkyerɛ ha yɛ abes no mo abes mo mpomade no ata abes no masamo no oh me de me nkɔfo mu nya hɔ deɛ me lemu pa ɛde kokosi kwa me mo kwa me tela mu ne ade no
Ovanko. Na hene amoko.
Me de Asante good mines, Asante good fields, yeah. I am Kina farmer. Then I Nanabe Wabra, what's the name?
Idi.
No, Nanabe Wabra. What do you need?
Now we need to go on him.
It's when you are for the introduce you.
Already, but there's some areas where the key area of Mamin Farm. Hello, sorry, the whole boss of some side on Farming Farm. And I tell her for Farming Farm. I tell her, I'll come in also of Farming.
Tell her for no, they'll come on Beju.
But for my minty report,
mixed reactions. Your mom for say, any almost secret in Coney Accra. I cried or say, I will say, cried or say, a Ghana in our quite attack recruiting. Cannot have a one normal in a boom, not the BCS. And you know, almost a mono honomo. Those that feels and as a thing say, recruiting a year. Yamano enough opportunity on tray say, Edmana Yamano, or 1 year, the year, money ye no. Omono, you almost so for say the entire football system no I have corrupted on say minim maybe a million bit my boamia on say there's a general perception and I believe say people pay to play for the national teams and that your uncle for they take money from players or managers and introduce them to coaches and as the coaches by themselves also take money if you don't cry no they call football and so those in charge of administration, you know, any other and also it generates a lot of discourse because Obi Bisa say, hey, I could say, Bruni, the way then I need before Bobo, better than born close no bo. Don't trouble china no more for no more boss.
Bruni Beno.
The ocean number 7 Jason.
Yeah, boy.
That was you're funny, wow. Also, your boy being Bruni to Germany. We
were tonight Germany. Next to when you be more that.
And there are people who think like that, meaning how, but it is very, very strong on the grounds. Pay kakra mimi fa krumu matititi in India. Kofo was our thinking no, and our perception and our belief when they say obi banya national team aba just what chase card ama obi and amanfo ankofo susu say omo ye chase card mo wana asa omo gisika ama yikofo run national team no. Those in charge of football, no, the GFA administrators, no, and coaches, no, and those people, no, agents, managers, no, say, no, they take money from the players or pay money to people and say, I'm waiting available. And also, and so they are questioning the rationale behind some invitation to some players. Even also, so I discuss it. That you say, Omofo say. A time that he says enough is enough. I've paid my dues to the nation, and so I want to move on. It's hard discourse also. Our system anymore. Ebi no cry for say, for instance, senior, no, local players no must also be given some space as they because. Question back we say I was Kingsford no one position but I'm so no obo your man role no our born as the number 10 so and was number 10 no so no na I say we the anchor and I say the main central person
link man
the link man any attack no I'm saying I was say na say number 10 ya no boy there and calamity bit my boss in sao question back what we say
calamity me nya report view Minya report be
on Lamty.
You say since I were blasters in a home town as a baby or yare.
And now when you're saying
that's why you're seeing the TNA.
Because ya nemuno said this time there, M said players need to have a bench. but he was not even.
No,
You still indicate 18 no.
You indicate the
But
18.
no money na ba bench.
But okay, yeah, I'm saying Jesse. Yeah, I'm saying Jesse. So,
But she goalkeepers me no just.
but she goalkeepers me, you Jesse. So against the number one or them no. Whilst there's a goalkeeper no, there were three goalkeepers and a dresser here. So that clearly tells you say there was something wrong somewhere. So what I say and say, Kudus ain't me more. Not the day I am rare. Anka the likely number 10 should be Lamptey. But yeah, boy no me minimum position of ball in the team of ball. Inti me person make okay say on your number 10. But you could see say he was lost in his own world. Completely baby no enam no. I say wako top baby a when you saw time wa won dia wo ye no. Inti we rather expose him, gave him out and he became a public radical. Clearly born and born no ball a sad or bono. Particularly because of I think a Jordan crab or 10 be anko be better than ono no kra 10 na ye man boy no. Inti and also so discussion I was system ni mu a. Inti there's a lot na amount for HSS Niga Asia omo esibrim Gambia for no say ha we mu no mani abere person omo je cap no right from the word go no omo indicators say one me diagram me yema senior Egypt for share go under 2 minutes omo ka say we dey be for manu bom so na afi omo wo omo 9 na so omo struggle to even get the equalizing goal no omo see Senegal for omo ntina omo sa ade into omo hit the ground running, get the job done and then take a good rest. And some of these things in our system no man for discussing.
Okay. Obed, yenhwe yento aso enra anko se de esi pe no. Keved 2 Ghana 1. Ensem bebre na manfo ka. As usual, your population is there do say 30 say.
They have 30 plus.
And mu be fast omo represent Ghana no be 40 something and wo kodibo a. Ya kan nyina ye coaches but nye ne begina touchline coach but Ghana de oba na wo ye bibi na anko ya obi abekire na adwene yenhwe Black Stars team no after ye defeat enra the next game ye Thursday e de na si enra a ofu se ye correction a ebetimi aboaye ama yenya resource a ebehye yimkran say oh at least say we akwedi to two enyoma ya even last game kra no ebetimi dia akura the knockout stage of the competition.
Well, the last population census of me Kived no one do 600,000.
Kived ko no aso mo de mo no so
do 600,000
no mo omugu mpo ano
and the papa ni say at the end of 102.7
FM
that would be the best. I say ade bi wa esai na where wa nso obeso so anu abetimi aso anu ama ade na nyankwa but ebe akọ say at the time that you least expected nti ni papa mu a enye ndwiringu I started ndwiri no ye man ndwiringu na ye ma message now last week I had certain key remarks concerning the Black Stars and how I may expect it, why I don't expect them to do anything massive via Cote d'Ivoire. Now I'm for objections to that. But me and Radi see you know yes as a Ghanaian is a two I bear way. I saw bear coach exams now on pad you see no diagro now we're catching exams will be fail you exams will be fail you. So resource ne banwa failure a bear way as a jack. We invest or and I say unya after bear or yasonia a coach exams were failing. But when you sit back and look at the signs and signals, na proud to acquire an exam, so na decision funny serious. You look back and say, well, say wait there. They are not training to know a particular resource. Now one. The entire baby through be a drone say. Ya data I watch because we have this kind of emotional affection towards the Black Stars, Nintino. Adie ye anke obi fufure be pay mo aka chen say in a do Black Stars there na you be say kwana ye ni si kakra. The signs have been there. We are not good enough. Period. Ye nyade. And ye na ye nyade and start from our playing body. We don't have players that are committed towards the cause. Yes, you can talk about coach, which will break it down in due course. but adeɛ no deɛ di kan ne yɛ sɛ mmeranteɛ du baako no a yɛde ɔmo gyina agoprama no so ɛne ɔmo a yɛtwe ɔmo firi nkyɛn saa de bɛhyɛ mu no fa kɛseɛ na mmɔdenbɔ ne nsuo ani na mmom yɛahoahoa ɔmo ama ɔmo tirim ayɛ ɔmo de ɛma ɔmo fili sɛ ɔmo yɛ adeɛ nti deɛ ne mmɔdenbɔ nsuo ani a wotrɛ exam so wonim sɛ wofeeli wobɛbɔ mmɔden awia na watumi apaase no ɔhu ne sɛ kakra na watworo no ɔbɛpaase nti no ɔnwia mpo na nka watumi asɛeli through. We are not good enough and we have overhyped our players. So there's some form of arrogance being able to you will always be punished by a committed teamer. You determined to get something meaningful from your and then we are 2 against Kivet. 1. Our goalkeeper is not good enough. Yankano Krencher Richard Ofori is not in his prime. Ofori na maybe a chum wow stars or graduate ebe fa national under 23 ne na mu a yede ko gina mu blasters a wo da go ana wo gidie se ya bonnum obe chinsia no mo se goalkeeper bonnum o chinsia wo cheto o ba obe sa ache no. That is not the goalkeeper we have in our post. And again yen nyina ye tena kroma atizigi yenji ni ndi da uti obi atena sa atizigi da opo ba o gini di yenji ni ndi Jojo Wala caught in the last AFCON. There were 7 shots on target, to move 5 got on the net. Yeah, himself goalkeeper, the standard nini soro, and these are our 3 goalkeepers. But because it's Ghana, we want to sit back and say it will be okay. It will not be okay. You will be exposed. It is from Tetiamu last 2 years. Listen, our goalkeeping department, and how can you down? Oh, you have managing. Is this the Richard Ofori and the modern day goalkeeper should create what we call passing options for the defenders when they are building up. Now you're pressing and no be we Kivet excellent pressing. But yen in Egypt say goalkeeper near Bobo on the man I want to be crying for 9 control ball. And started build up. How many successful kicks? And I reach the 49. Kicks Papa Ben, your bomber Richard Euphoria with me bone ye. Saves in the crowd in the same direction. Look at the first goal, for instance. After born into net, I feel no be a say your goalkeeper in Yadi. Yes, you need to on Yadi against Namibia Okruma. We saw how he was shaking in goal post. By a sea you cannot win a tournament. You cannot go to a competition and play well when your goalkeeper is not in a good form. Goalkeeper Nyadie, look at how he organizes his defense, how he communicates with his defenders. No form of communication, no form of command, and a goalkeeper on the side. They are tossing me. You're too near training. And a boy, you bet me about power 2 ne 3. Or won't cross the line, cross. Prime Barcelona. Look at how Dani Alves contributed to the attack of Barcelona. Prime Real Madrid. Hebona Marcelo. Ghana enya krano. Harris not for Mujina Monasu Kakran. We saw what they were doing on the wings. John Pencil, we saw what they were doing. Hans said, do something to me, Konenima. Obe making sure about defensive stability. And now he give you a mensa. Ni position is a big issue. What you say when him crown I want to mean ko. And quiet crosser. Actually, honor. You count to as a defender. Your defensive work rate must be excellent and not checking the positioning, which is basic. How you position yourself to close the spaces. Boniba Kobiabo said he's out of position. And now a professor had to say, yes, opinion so at the end, we all know Ali said to go against US. We saw his performance. And the video near the year series play our ball friendly match. I use a friendly match. No? It's not part of preparation. Yeah, you ball fouls one way.
102.7 FM.
No, a dinner hole. I'm a nipan the ball, no, quiet to Chroma near the series. And the hot to your tournament. No? Sometimes you need players on the bench. A more tough competition to do a dinner mumba no asano. Sabiana and Ali said to be boy last match. Match when you ball, Baba, you cray. Central African Republic ni Angola match. Edu there the near see unifru. These players are not playing well. But we are not able to tell them. Look at Salisu Nijiku. Jiku won the man of the match, but to me, undeserved. Yes, you talk about the seriousness, no? which is something that is lacking in most of the Black Stars players. But the bottom line is, check how he goes into tackle. Look at the first goal, for instance. Gideon Mensah out of position. Alexander Jiku out of position. Baba Idris, a defensive midfielder. As a defensive midfielder, when you realize you should have what you call the scanning ability. Osha Park, no someone who baby our players ne down. Omo that position, papa. What say Gideon Mensah free defensive line? Jiku free right centre back position. Akobe Nkumo. Honey, a salis to a Juma because I'm not able as the left centre back. No. What do you do as a defensive midfielder? What drop up a share? He was no, Baba Idris was nowhere to be found. And now basic things like concentration. Concentration, keke. Around the 78th minute, there was a back pass. The team wanted to build from the back. And I'm passing my Baba Idris. Otina Osana Kevin Nimbefa about no chan near a yellow card. Namenkwa. Basic things like concentration and composure we were lacking in the game. We have issues with our coach, but no. A true baby, a modern one on the Gina Park, and so bon. As a shame form. I had to so be a washer 5B. I feel what the ball need diagro. Player for player, country for country, and club for club. Jesse Nash, they were not working to merit the Jesse. Nana Kevin de Opo. You should have what called self-assessment. And so when you who say, Kevin na menene bo a pass mint yase fa coach ton chen coach dia kan wa asem onya de fa ne ton chen mi ankasa yankasa ye gira ha country na ye represent omo no wo mo ni ball ne bonte se yeso ye duru yeso aye ye afem de. Look at the players and they were comfortable with Kevin passing them around. We watch Egypt versus Mozambique. Egypt were losing, but you could see the determination, the eagerness to do something. Oh, Egyptians, and now I have Black Stars players. It's like nothing is at stake. Now, the second thing, apart from we accepting that, you just add any to my, you start from basis. No one's actually shape you. Your coach, opinion. Your coach, Croman and say, oh, yeah, men's good here. Or men's good here. I say a good kama and a profile and a class up to date. Last week in Etiana make catch say, coach, your Niama, your pencil, your Inaki, your Semenyo, your Kudus, your Osman Bukari, coach, your Jordan. Me last week na make catch say yes start here on team form the right front three. Me can say nipa miensa san nip din ya body so be match san miensa we am complement each other and bringing the best out of each other and on to me me can last week because we've been here with this coach on this man tia trabru 8 months on to me na the front three we be sure as you and then the Harry boy we me the Zakito boy have the no ma boni on to me and oh yeah the obey say we we free not the we have not to two of say ya. And no had Niama by 0 contribution. Up to date in Naki Bobo and Let's Go Bobo. Coaching into me who coin over Faso, Eddie Naki, Tina Baby, obey me a bunny. So it's not about what the players are doing in their clubs. It's about how you fit them into a system for them to play just like they are playing in their clubs. And what the Naki Bejina 9, then I and Cabo and drew 5 near point.
May I say, Obed, Captain?
Yes, sir.
Young
and somebody said, Basia. Ya can the park there 10 years needed. Say in Black Stars is full of disappointment. You come back now, you talk shop. You can't be a tinana, me brapany. I know could you join tea boy. Now, or say, Anka, a platform on Uber to me about trumpeters and Sims in Amzana. Sir, when we are, I before say, Utangana, watching everything, friend. What does it? It is a say, I'm gonna open over to her. No cancer.
Oh, he's a see.
Organa, what's no US?
This is Ghana side him or tea.
Other Santas and also Maquai.
We wait me a friend.
At any point in time, Martin.
And Tiami had Mochina.
Martin.
And to catch
he's ever ready.
Catching and I say, friend.
He's ever ready.
No, so chain argument.
Yes, he's ever ready. And now we have no program. The use of my best friend as I catch him. Who said at the end of course one team I'm surprised say we are going to disappoint because from day one me need that confidence in the Black Stars first year baller now at any point you want to go and watch but your football no is being destroyed and nobody cares Tianopana may say well it's not about an individual it's not about the FA because me Mr. Poku me kind of say the BI say if football need and as a sport I'm at the youth no maybe I see talk of Maculations, Samuel Jans, all those players and they you born with and they through this football and sports. So and the call for your penny for the football and as a sports ediba. Why is that any a buying frantic effort to make sure say we do things right? Today be asking that so Kasahana, Yakana, Africana, I have football people and a football for I say football people want the island be. And our minus water baby. But successive government make a main can't go see the MPP government to see. Successive government a bar or more approach to football. And why yes, we do too much the minister who in sports authority or quite almost any macra. But me free say a sa by the transit. Who say maybe after the football corner. I didn't. What I make I say you have any offense saying Kevin for boy over 1 away show 7 goals.
2006 Germany World Cup qualifiers.
So in 2005 getting to 2006 the ball over 2 I get 7 goals against them Kevin. So that team no bet to me as said Nema. A country population is around 600,000 that is the case. Ever say Nema. Not as 1,000 year move farmers room, teacher for room, a doctor for room, nurse for room, footballers room, mechanic for room, all sort of businesses room. But few know where footballers now can play and play like get 1 year. Look at how much build up. Look at how much passing the accuracy to which they pass. Look at the confidence to which of the bubble. Say almost throw Ghana. Everything me right here to the extent that almost Ghana a bubble. Getting to the latter stages and could be free say teams like I send there, no born do celebrate that's your small team. And Kawanya scoreline if you know. Now what try say who close to ranks, making sure say we born by the one draw. They were not comfortable with it. But instead they were pushing. Because before so we go here, we say last go by. Look at Bob go strike at fire. Oh, right defense me and them.
Yeah.
Oh, Mujana keep on say we. Among other things and also. So me sure one that's very I'm sure we know. Me sure Ghana today. Me sure Ghana the next years ahead of us. Say be ekoi. And my yes I dey na dey be no. E say pe kwan fufuro bi fa so. Na football ehun you 2-1 among. It can be done. But because obi ayi nani aban na onu na say go o take the lead no. Afan say football no FIFA say. But nyasa no FIFA say nyasa na tie sa. FIFA classes aban person invest in football. Won't me invest it. If I watch that there's a thin line. Ah baby aban wo sika kono. I want to be checks and balances. But you can call every order. What do you call? And with this FA or in there, Black Star, yeah, FA holding in trust for the government, you know. But the government is a call. See a coffee for tournament, not the government go, baby. I buy it to be sure. But yeah, I buy see and come home and I ever follow some more, yeah, and I yard, you know. But this is a big institution. This is a big idea. And the boy youth, no. And your youth and sports. The youth benefit a lot from that sporting activities, no. I'm a bit here for, and you might be a man, anybody be here. Eh? It's all employment and anybody. I said, I want to borrow a baby. I don't know because I see I heard the football adding my economy. No. See, I say, you do football and my economy, baby. But because your man didn't call ye, it be I select players a qua, ya casa. I before they know my cancer, my Dutch, ya qua, near quite disappointed. Nayaba. It will maybe cook tournament. I can call when I'm far. They will try to do things right. Nankadema Ako, Adamako, you know. Yeah, they behind your call reverse, carry reverse. Look at Siniga. I hear that Siniga will be how they decided to give the team to Mukochi. At least say. Ketesi initially buy a but when they decided, say they know the Omo, and the Senegal is a delight to watch. Last 2 years or so, Omo GBB Africa. Omo GBB Africa. Ebe the Cup of Nations no money da. What I say? Tournament be able to be a Senegal because they sat down almost as a shame my year. Don't go work up no come on him. But you don't say Ghana ha. Look at the preparation of the coy. Me kaipa say I got to Panama because I about tournament last year. You hui. I want to catch it. Say yes, Ghana about campo South Africa. Now if you statement they say if your first communications manager statement and your coaching decision and by now if you know Aja too just to let you know who say maybe South Africa to come out for the count 17 or no such a coach in the kai because that's someone your no one such a youth have just after that you know you're about Kumasi. So who was such a tournament? Your baby preparation you only one match against Namibia. All this in ebom o preparation how you tournament natural serious as how they competition only one match. And a boy. That aside, no about your coaching. Sure. Football. And yeah, you say flux so bit my car as a coach, what around for all these years, you should know your team. When was the last time, when was the first time my friend saw your boy by a national team? So he's been around for some time. But coach, you friend of mine say, oh, money mobi. Until the last game you bought now you against your friends say, Namibia. And I'm not supposed to do. It's another because who was such a competition? The biggest competition in African football calendar. Ukoya, no exposed to play. The player learn is a winger. What that call number 10. And I said they say they didn't come to the unit about what more. They now the player coach no more, you know. And I'm not sure that they didn't. Emang kevere follow ka Yakobe there. Edike ye ni ba koron kakra. It was like when him dey know your parking so. Right? He was exposed. And fat. And the coach about the team one me do be so your advice I go back up now go advise your team. Say coach is any man fasa. So aside that the time of the changes. I know I gave quite a bit of time. I remember I'm not asked him say, why did the coach change something? Even pencil, crab one or bono. Yeah, couple I not take your on pan or maybe just that some man or your man I went to ask you to net no. Maybe I don't ever count. I say, as I try that I say, yeah, play the mechanic in between, you know, I never. It's to say if you want good performance, you know. Your friends say, because other than that, who why obey Semenyo at that time?
Okay.
So, any man Dawson, and it's affecting we need to set up as a country. And I make another pass. I will not write them off totally. Either I would
look promising.
6 a year, but it doesn't look promising.
Alasan Said Zaki.
nanu ya no nam Senegal ebo omu local league ni bi me ma this narration e dey lenke ye kroma say de nti ayen ball no ye be chepa yan say ye suban ya jibo de bia ye be wi abafie saa our attitude and kind faso a transition very poor ye can say from 2008 eba be si hinfa de bia yan ko fa na be ko se fa na players no mo fra hinfa o fi local league ya mu asaro mutu kwan a no ma ko kire ampa local league no mo no ball local league no they were the best mutu kwan so o ma ko bobra pa na de wa ba so bobo national team ni fa ma e eti wo hwe ya sa period na ye ko en first world cup no Singapore e local league ya
Yeah.
Michaelson e local league ya Jomensa e local league ya just mention them like things money all those players no they played in this local league and so mutu kwan so they traveled near a way to transition very well all the team no yeah 2010 boys na mko 20 no munya bath you all the rest of local players and I'm boy no I no na kroma say ba ku me na ya wo mo de den kwa na as obuni say on there ya wo no kroma say no on board local league na edin be wura mu eti sad adwen na ya de ase trim sa fe de local league no e ne papa mua so na mua football fo ya na mo kwa na makwa mu kululu ba so ye ti ase ye fese ma so kroma say mua na se adamu ni because of musuba boninti mu kwa na makwa fese games into no you don't trust these boys and can say dey intina and our youth teams you know player ebo na otukwan pa yeso onya de player ebo local league mu otukwan pa yeso onya de yentimi enfani wura team mu eti ade be pa ena ekoso kroma se ejibo eti until say you better say attitude yesu ban towards your local league you know because me just was say ye ka say ye clubs ye mo modern Africa Senegal team bi abonu modern Africa Senegal team bi no abonu modern Africa because say bia omo ko Africa omo modern nti no their local league no can produce a talent who can bet matasa eti yan say yesu ban a ye bebre now me feel say coach no so no or no so dey a team that you've coached for almost 1 year you should know your team me feel say boys young guys bi na omo team no obi dey say nuama la mean sa dey ni bia o la mean kamara dey all the different is that we dey ofri Denmark team na akọ Olympic Lyon. But ocean age now, a coach must have confidence. Say, baby, I do you know. Because I'm left it at the right. When they take the ball now, the right and the right. And your car on being cut in one shade. But ocean be when Yama came in, or Kwana Yampa, he cut in what box out 8 year boss. And to your players be or with me a pimbola. Or a lot of courses inside the 8 year boss now, about 2 or 3 years. It was dangerous for Kivret to defend. But a coach must have confidence. I was out boys in the more Monkoboro. A child dear, I say, Gideon Mensa for a very long time he is disappointed. Na Ghana for the Duana, the Munisi, Babara man so Babara man, Ekun to come Gideon Mensa, by Lukaja me, Gideon Mensa hasn't shown anything until the Biaso better than Babara man. The reason why I remember many Siasia, they don't move Bueno Stadium, no, you be cabbage Ghana for. Says Houseman is my papa, national team dear, and ya the papa. So I want so one why should you go say the interview? Meanwhile, Bono so did the message and Bobo be answer Babara Kruma say, but only you.
any papa bi answer baba man by ewuro so nyakopon I think that God have a nice way of shutting people down, punishing people. Who say yeah call about boy nka say Ghana for suban to omba no guess aboy no so go baba da man game na obo bia since I oka so omba Ghana for suban to omba no game bia boy be so go ma park in the Greece league eti me feel say ene yes na aba but those that we have no say Greece league there if a team like PAOK every day they are in Europe or Champions League or Confederation Cup relatively you understand the Greek league is better than French league 2 the Greek league is better than French league 2 so if we player no about Greek league better than player about French division 2 it will feel say you collapse ne quite first for place ni binim no yan hwe ni ni an so side no so a it will come a long way to hunters and then goalkeeping Saji best mienza no anya biai obia do kroma se nko na keepers effect pa mienza the on the na man da we South Ban we ya trophy say Africa keeper mienza ke mienza no the on ni team on dabi o ni ama no ono eda ahead of